The other day, I get a phone call from one of our team members, and they needed to mail a online product order out. And unfortunately, neither myself nor my wife, who's my partner, neither of us were there in the clinic that day. Because usually we would just give them the business card. They would go, they would mail the product, come back and bring the business card. But both my wife and I were out of town, so they didn't have either of our cards. I proposed that I could cash app them some money and they could pay for the postage with the money that I cash apped them. And I thought this was a very reasonable setup. However, when I end up speaking to one of our team members, she expressed her concern that she didn't feel comfortable using her own personal card. And she had been feeling this way for a while. However, I didn't know about it. And we found a solution. We found a workaround to be able to figure this out. But what I realized was I wasn't thinking through this entire process from our team members' perspective. You know, the fact that we were expecting them to go to the post office and pay for the postage using their personal card, that the fact that that made them uncomfortable, I just never thought about that, because in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm sending them the money. They wanted to use cash out of the cash box. Now, we've recently been working with a consultant who's helping us with our cash flow management. And she broke it down to us and said that is a no-no. You don't want to be pulling cash out of the cash box to use for incidental expenses and all those different things, because it messes up your bookkeeping, it messes up your daily close process, and ultimately it could embolden some team members to steal. And so we have two issues, right? I'm looking at it from a cash flow management process. I don't want people taking cash out of the cash box. I want to make sure that we can protect the cash flow process on that end. The employee, the team member, is looking at it from their standpoint, where they don't feel comfortable using their own personal card to do transactions for the business. And so we're looking at things from two different viewpoints. I made a video about silo mentality before, where it's so easy to get caught up in your own personal viewpoint. So it made me realize that because I hadn't dived into this conversation with them on a deeper level about our system of paying for postage, because we hadn't had this conversation, it was a lot that had to be figured out on the fly. And because of that, both people were kind of in the dark, arguing for their own personal viewpoint. We found a solution that we believe is going to handle both of those issues. But I realized that because I hadn't systematically thought through this and worked through this, I was causing them stress. They were clearly frustrated. They were clearly upset with the process. They didn't understand why I was being so by the book on something as simple as, hey, it's just cash in the cash box. And, you know, one thing is, I don't expect them to understand the whole process of cash flow management and our need to systematize our cash flow management, because that's not their job. But it is my job to communicate to them why we're doing things, and to make sure they understand step by step how that whole process works in the grand scheme of things, in the big pictures.